Hi folks, and welcome to my little video blog. This is the first one I've ever done. It's to accompany my website, but also appears on YouTube. So I don't know whether you've actually tuned in because of my website, or you've just stumbled across me somehow on YouTube and wondering who the hell I am. Anyway, I'm here to explain to you who I am, what I do. Where do I start? Good point. I think nature has always played a large part of my life. Whether it was a child doing bird watching or being a bit of a young naturalist, helping out and playing on a friend's farm, where I seem to spend most of my days. I always grew up just fascinated by nature, and even sort of going into my sort of adult life, I'd spend most of my days, or days off work anyway, in the Lake District, walking in the Fales, mountain biking, climbing, you name it, and then that got spread out to sort of places in Wales and in Scotland as well. So I think I spent a lot of my days in the countryside, and of course now I've been living in France for nearly 18 years, living in the deep in the countryside. I'm surrounded by nature, absolutely surrounded by nature. So it has played a big part of my life in my work. The other thing I probably features heavily in my work is the fact that I've always had this passion for things that are a bit weird and a bit different, a bit quirky, a bit off the wall, a bit unusual. I think that the first films that I ever really enjoyed were The Wizard of Oz and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And I think, looking back at it, what I loved about those films was the way they were filmed. It was just unusual. The Wizard of Oz being that, was it Technicolor or wherever it was, and it was filmed in a studio but meant to be outdoors, which was a bit unusual, and also the characters as well. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, something similar. The actual shots of them in the castle, or in the little town where the children were getting stolen, were unusual. They weren't normal, and that fascinated me. And of course, I've always had a bit of a love of the sort of bit creepy, dark and creepy as well. So the characters in these films were, I thought, were wonderful. The main characters were for me with the Wicked Witch of the North and the Wizard of Oz, and the child catcher with his long pointy nose in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And then fast forward to sort of my adult life, and my sort of favourite films would be, let's think, Baron von Munchausen, or Time Bandits. Any film by Terry Gilliam, basically. Also Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit, Labyrinth, Pan's Labyrinth, all these sort of films, sort of fantastical, but unusual films. And again, that shows I think heavily in my work. So my name is Tony Priestley, and I am primarily a conceptual fine art photographer. That is to say that I take a concept, I take an idea, I take an emotion, and turn that into an image. In doing so, I will use models, I will use props, I use textures. I create conceptual images. And I will go into more detail about that in future videos. I mean, very much so. But I do other genre photography too. I started off as being a landscape photographer, and you can read about my photography history on my website. Oh, there you go, which is www.tonypriestley.com. Nice plug. And you'll see that up here, hopefully, or somewhere. And you'll see it down below in the comments down below. But I used to do landscape photography. I still do a little bit of it, although the conceptual side of it has sort of taken over. I also do environmental portraits, which is a service that I offer to the public. People can come and have their photograph taken in anywhere they want, whether it be outdoors, indoors, but the emphasis is on being an environmental portrait as opposed to not being sort of head and shoulder shots. It's sort of a photograph taken in the outer world, you see the sort of the surrounding environment, which, in my eyes makes a better photograph. And I also do commercial photography, so I could promote your local business, whether it be a pub, restaurant, hotel, garage, taxi service, whatever. And I finally do real estate. So if you want to sell a house or your property and you want somebody to take photographs, I can do that as well. But I will cover all these different genres in future videos. So hopefully you will tune in to see hopefully I haven't bored you enough to switch off. If you like what you see and you want to see more, then please, first of all, click the thumbs up sign, and please subscribe. Click the subscribe button and you will be notified of any future videos that come along. I would like to try and do one a week, but I don't know whether that will happen due to work and pressures and time, what have you, but we'll try and do at least one a week or one every 2 weeks. Oh, butterfly, hello. The subjects will range from me talking about my photographs, a video possibly of me on a photo shoot, me talking about photography in general or a particular aspect of photography, and as soon as I can get some software on my computer to actually capture my screen, I can do walkthroughs of my photographs, so break it down in Photoshop and show exactly what I've done, why I've done it, so you get to see a bit of my process. And I don't know about doing tutorials on Photoshop. I mean, there are an absolute myriad of videos out there and people who are far better suited to doing that than I am. So, but we'll see. Who knows? I could talk about anything. It doesn't have to be photography based, but it shouldn't really. I mean, I'm a photographer, so it should be photography based. I might talk about food as well. That's another passion of mine. So if you like it, then thumbs up, subscribe, and you'll be notified of my next video. So hopefully see you soon. Bye.